Hello, it's me, Charles. Welcome to a special podcasty type thing, and we have something special. Number 13 is special in our group, and backwards, I guess. 13 backwards is special to us. I'm joined by Bryan Lomax. Sir, what are we doing here? What are we talking about?
I'm talking about my favourite director, Christopher Nolan. What with him having a little film out called The Odyssey, a little independent number. Good time to rank all 13 of his movies. Dude's just reached Kubrick kind of numbers now. So Kubrick made 13 movies. Nolan, who has been heavily influenced by Kubrick, has
the best Friday is the 13th.
So he's just hit 13 movies, same as his hero Kubrick. So we're going to rank all 13 of those movies. We're going to do we're going to give you them in the order that our averages have come out. So this isn't my ranking or CP's ranking. It is like
this is
both of our rankings kind of averaged out to give what it is. But we will let you know individually where we put each film.
Yeah.
But we're going to do them in the order of how it averaged out.
It's funny because even with just two of us averaging some of these things, you look at the average number and you're like, wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Some of them kind of make sense, but some of them, when we get to them, it's very interesting. I will say that I have recency bias with all the stuff that I rank, and I have not seen Odyssey the way I would like to see it.
Yes.
So when we get to that, I'll explain how or why I have it where I do.
Yeah, I've got Odyssey where I've got it right now because that's on one watch, and I'm reluctant to put it higher because of the recency bias,
right?
Because that's failed me in the past.
Likewise.
So I'm keeping it where it is with the full knowledge that it will. If it holds up the way these things do, it could very well jump one, if not two places higher for me. But yeah,
likewise.
Currently, this is where we sit.
All right, so the average between the two of us, number 13, our combined least favorite Christopher Nolan film, and it's a total of 13. It's following. We both have it at 13. So we agree universally on all of this. No math needed. Following Bryan.
Yeah. Again, going off the Kubrick analogies, they both of their first movies were these independently funded, black and white, shoot it by themselves, kind of no budget, like no big names or anything like that. Now, while Kubrick's effort, Fear and Desire is what I would describe as practically unwatchable. It's a terrible movie. Following is actually it is a damn good movie, and it is only let down essentially by that lack of budget and the fact that you can tell this is a bunch of guys, bunch of friends getting together on weekends to shoot it. Like story-wise, it's great. I think the dialogue's a bit ropey. It's got some of Nolan's worst dialogue is in it, very expositional. And again, I think you wouldn't notice that as much if you had A-list actors. I think
that's fair. There's something I've noticed about him. I'm like, I trust him with a lot of Warner Brothers or a lot of Universal's money. And I don't know if that's saying much about the process or the actors or what, but the following is probably it's his first go. So, if, again, we said this earlier, if your 13th best film is Following, you're doing all right.
There's not a single bad movie on this list.
Right.
That's it. I mean, Nolan has yet to make a movie where I'm like, oops, that was a slip. Like his first movie, right out the gate, it's an independently funded film. Right. If I could make a film that I just funded myself, that good, I would be very happy with myself. So, nothing to be embarrassed about at all as far as the debut effort goes.
When you consider him with a couple of $100 million, him with nothing is quite impressive as well.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 12 between us, and there's a little bit of shift here. It is Insomnia. You have it at 11. I have it at 12.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it. I haven't watched it since we did
Yeah.
31 in 2022, I think.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, but it anything before Batman Begins for me feels like Nolan being normal, and I'm using quotes, like the closest thing to, like, I don't know. I just feel like once he did Batman Begins, his style is distinct. And I think before Batman Begins, and probably most especially in Insomnia, there's just something that I can't put my finger on it, but this is going on a very old memory of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not like blown away. I'm not turned off by it. I'm not blown away by it, but it doesn't have that. This is definitely a Nolan film.
Okay. This is Insomnia.
Yes.
Talk about, it's. I've heard quite a few people describe it as like it's Nolan doing Fincher, and it's like, okay, a little unfair, I would say, but I mean, it's fairly unfair to the original Swedish version. That was it Swedish? I think whatever. Norwegian. I don't know. It's
one of those countries.
So
one of the happy ones.
Yeah, I like it. I just think it's got some really solid performances in it, and I like a good kind of detective serial killer thriller kind of movie, and this is a grade A version of that. It's just that Nolan's filmography is so damn strong that it ends up lower down the list.
Yeah, I think it's wild. When we get to the next one, Nolan pre-Batman Begins, even without him having his quote-unquote voice, as I like to call it, I thought he did a little bit better with something else rather than Insomnia. But I really would like to rewatch it. I might rewatch all of them just to do something from my channel or something more than this. But yeah, on to the next one, and that is Memento at 11. You have it at 10. I have it at 10. Averages be damned.
So we both have it at 10.
We both have it at 10.
And yet, because of those stupid averages, it's at 11.
Already we're doing
all
thing.
Right. Well, right. So, yeah. This should be at 10 then. We've both got it at 10. It should be at 10. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We should have set we should have set a rule that if we both have it at the same number, that's where it goes. But yeah, wow. Okay. So Memento is at 11.
Yeah, this is the movie that, like, I don't think you need money. This movie, I don't know how much money.
The strength is in the idea.
Yeah.
It's in the script. It's just, it's
I think it speaks to me a hell of a lot because I have, neurological issues, memory issues, and like watching it a number of times and being able to but being able to have something that I can relate to and understand and have it still be like a thriller is really, really impressive considering this is his second film?
Yeah, second. This is like his first proper kind of movie.
Right.
Which, that's no disrespect to following, but it's like, this is the first film that he's got back in. That he's not just flying by the seat of his pants, but...
Yeah, I can't remember when I first watched it either. It was one of those things where it's like, oh, have you heard of this movie where the guy tattoos himself? And I didn't know who Nolan was.
Yeah, it was quite a critical darling when it came out, and then all of a sudden it's like Nolan's this, it's like director, one to watch kind of thing. I loved Memento when I first saw it, but I'm always reluctant to get on that. Jordan Peele is the next John Carpenter. Dude, he's done one film. Shut up. So like, yeah, I whenever a director comes out and they do a great film, I'm just like, okay, it was really good. Yeah. I'll see where they go, but I ain't gonna start naming them one of the best filmmakers out there until.
But to be fair, if this were his ceiling, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
It's still pretty impressive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the film itself is damn good. But it's just a really great movie about how we can't really trust our own perspective on life. It's just we're constrained by the limits of our own experience, really, and in this case of a neurological disorder.
And again, as someone who has issues like this, to describe my wife's face when she'll describe something like, what did you mean yesterday when you said this? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's such a foreign experience, but to see it portrayed like this is incredible. I'm gonna have you watch that Korean film too, which is nowhere close to Memento, but Memoirs of a Murderer is similar. It speaks to me for neurological issues, but
and this was the first time Guy Pearce became someone other than that guy off Neighbours to me. It's like,
oh wow! See, I didn't know him as that guy off Neighbours.
Yeah, he started out in Neighbours, and it's like all of a sudden it's like in a movie, and it's like, okay, it's like soap opera actors don't go to movies. And
oh,
it's
okay.
Just like, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh no, he's actually an actor. Okay,
that's awesome.
Cool. I mean, Russell Crowe as well.
Russell Crowe did soaps.
He was either in Neighbours or Home and Away. He was in one of those two Australian. He kind of made his,
It's hysterical.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Okay, so to the average is number 10. It's Brian's 12. It's my number 7. Again, I need to rewatch these. It is Dunkirk.
Yes, I mean, like this is the biggest drop off for any Nolan film for me. Like it was a 5-star film when I first saw it, and I'll stand by that. Like the first time watch experience in a cinema of just that constant ticking clock in the soundtrack, the fact that these guys have just got to get off this beach and the race to get them off by water and by air. Like it was all just, it's really frenetic. And again, it was one of those movies that was all about the experience, not necessarily about, it's not a character-driven movie, it's an experience-driven movie.
Sure.
And I'm fine with that, just as long as the experience you take on is actually one that, again, puts you on the edge of your seat and makes you feel that. And it's just the law of diminishing returns. Because I know what's happening, I know what's going to happen. It doesn't quite hold the same momentum and the same kind of, adrenaline
That's
fuel that it previously did. I remember on the second watch, I still really loved it. It still kind of held that. And then, I watched it recently, and I'm just like, it's just, I'm at that point now where something is quite kind of missing, and I would like a particular character that I could stay with, because once it's like a roller coaster. Once you know what's coming, eventually it just subsides until eventually you don't really feel much at all. And I wouldn't say I don't feel anything at all. It's just that drop off from going to, wow, what an experience, to, okay, I know this particular bend on the roller coaster.
I think what I appreciated about this movie, again, I would like to rewatch it like soon. A lot of this is the first non-American World War II movie that felt like an American type action movie, where it was like, oh, we're not talking about America saving the day. This is England running for their lives and doing everything they can. I'd like seeing World War II stuff in movies, but I don't want to hear about how Japan's the bad guy, how Germany's the bad guy, even though Germany technically literally is the bad guy in this movie.
But we don't see them.
Right. They're just this.
Even at the beginning, when they're firing on those soldiers at the beginning, we don't see them.
Right.
We just hear the gunfire and we know where they are. We don't necessarily get to see the mustache twirling bad guys.
Right, and that's something that I really respected about it. Where it's like, it doesn't matter what you're running from. Be afraid. They're coming. To have that was a really welcome experience for me, because I like experiencing things that I'm interested in from different perspectives. I watched a movie when I was in Denmark. A movie came out about April 9th, I think. Denmark relinquished whatever. Over the course of 3 hours, they waved the white flag.
Right.
Germany just marched up there, and within 4 hours it was over. They made a movie about that in Denmark. It was really interesting, because it's not something I learn about in the US. It's not something that's fitting for a movie, at least.
Like U571, where you get a British story that is then Americanized and it just becomes another American war.
That is a brilliant example. U571's like, I really have fun with that movie. but why not just watch what U571 copied? What is the movie I'm thinking of? The German film.
Yeah, Das Boot.
Das Boot. Yeah. It's interesting that things that go through America have to have like some sort of Americanization. World War II was a world war before we even decided to get off the couch.
The Yanks actually came in at the tail end of it just to use their firepower. To
we're third act reveal.
It's like, where were you 2 years ago, guys? It's like,
so having the element of time, having a big budget American feeling World War II story that surprise has nothing to do with America. It was. I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and it was, I don't know, having it told as by Christopher Nolan. Let me have more of that. I don't know if I needed a protagonist to roll with, like any one character to go with.
No, well, I didn't the first time I watched it, and even the second time I watched it. Like I said, it was about the experience.
Yeah.
But when something's based purely on the experiential, once you keep reliving that experience, something slightly dies unless you've got a hook to keep you invested. And that's why films that have more of an emotional through line in terms of a character I can follow, whose journey I can identify with specifically.
To your point, though, like the fact that we don't know who the villains are, isn't that like, we don't know, we don't have someone to follow, but we also don't, we're just running from stuff. We're in danger. It doesn't matter who it is. You're in danger. You gotta go.
Yeah, and like I say, first time around, that works.
So
second
I
time
shouldn't
around,
watch it again, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'd say
just keep it that way.
Yeah, keep it that way. Because that's exactly how I felt about it. Like I say, it was a 5-star film for me. It's just watching it this time around, knowing all the peril that they go in. Like, we're going to get to another film on this list at some point, which is Interstellar, and that hits me so deeply emotionally. Like it hit me emotionally the first time we saw it, but now as a father, like in 2014, that's when my daughter was born. So I didn't, I watched it. Like,
save the
We'll save it. But it's just things. Yeah, I just think it's more than just experiential. There is a certain emotional investment that comes from being identified specifically with a particular character.
At number 9, this is where I kind of tank the averages here. At number 9, you had it at number 4. I had it at number 11. It is The Dark Knight Rises. And this is something I have seen a couple of times, and I feel like it's the inverse of the Odyssey for me, where I feel like the beginning is very strong, and the third act is less strong. That's not to say I'm comparing it to the Odyssey. I just think the Odyssey is its slowest in the beginning. Let me just stay on Dark Knight Rises here.
Yeah.
The introduction of Bane, everything going on in Gotham, up until Batman's back is broken, I'm like all for it. The logic and everything after that, I have a very hard time getting behind some of the things that happens with him, crawling and making his way back to Gotham, and the second half of the movie, as I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I have a good time with it. The second half just doesn't match the build up and the table that was set for the first half. So that's why I have it at 11.
Yeah, and I have it as high as I do because I'm just a Batman fan. Like it's like,
at least you're honest.
I hear the criticisms of The Dark Knight Rises, and I'm not going to try and argue against them. If you see those criticisms, it's like, all right, yeah, I get it. But
there has to be a better take of her dying. I'm sorry, that could not be the best take.
There does have to be a better take. Yeah, I can definitely admit that. But it's just. So my favourite Batman story in the comic books of all time is Nightfall. It's the whole Nightfall storyline, which was the big Bane breaking out all the inmates out of Arkham and breaking Batman's back, and then Batman recovering and coming back. And it's just, this is essentially a loose kind of adaptation of the Nightfall story, along with a few other famous comic book stories that have kind of been amalgamated and been Nolanized and become its own thing. And from a purely film making terms, I could see that there are certain things that make this not quite as flawless as the two films that came before it. Like Batman Begins, The Dark Knight. I mean, not the ones we mentioned.
I mean, if The Dark Knight Rises is the worst movie in a trilogy, you're doing quite well.
Yeah. So it's just like, purely as someone who grew up on Batman, who's an absolute Batman fan, whose number one movie has always been a Batman movie, depending on which point in my life you get me at. It's like I can forgive a lot of sins when it comes to Batman. Not Schumacher level sins, but I'm like, Bane's one of my favorite villains in comic books, and I just thought they nailed it. Even though they made changes in a similar fashion that they did with Heath Ledger's Joker, changes that on paper, if you read them, you're like, you can't do that. That's like fundamentals. And then you're watching it, yeah, Nolan knows what he's doing. So yeah, for me, it's a film that, while flawed, admittedly, I enjoy the heck out of. As a Batman fan, I can watch it again and again and again, and it just won't get old for me.
8. You have it at 7. I have it at 6, and it's the most recent entry on this list, and it's the Odyssey.
Yeah. This is definitely the one that has potential to rise,
right?
And fall, maybe.
Sure.
Who knows? But I'm just like, it's certainly been on my brain a lot since I watched it.
Likewise.
And it's one of those movies where you think over a lot of scenes. There's a lot of scenes that keep coming back, and you're like, oh yeah. So I think the likelihood is that it is going to rise. It was touch and go anyway between this one and the next one on my list as to those positions. And the only reason the one I put above it is because I have seen it multiple times, and it remained consistently great from the previous viewing. So,
do you know what the runtime of Magnolia is?
It's like 3 hours. Yeah, just short of 3 hours.
Yeah. So Magnolia, Wolf of Wall Street, and now the Odyssey are 3 movies that are around 3 hours that just don't feel it.
No.
I remember people saying, before I saw it, I ended up being sick, so I had to see the Odyssey a little late. People saying it's kind of slow in the beginning, and by the time it picked up, I was like, what are these people talking about? It's been like 20 minutes, and we're rolling. Yeah. It feels like, for maybe the first 15, 20 minutes, it gets you to a cliff, and then just from that moment on, it rolls very quickly. And it feels like every little set piece in the Odyssey is its own little mini movie where, we're here, we're doing this, and it has its own thing. And the thing that I am absolutely impressed with, again, a 3-hour movie that does not feel it. For like the middle hour there, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
A lot of the way that movie is presented and shot, and the trauma and things that are happening there feel very horrific, and are even presented like, even when when it goes to Hades, the people crawling out of the ground, it's like really scary. People saying that Nolan wouldn't be able to do horror. I think he just did.
He's just done.
He just did.
Yeah. Like that Cersei scene where she's molding the faces into animals.
Oh yeah, the pigs.
That was just like, oh.
And the Foley work too. Like, can you guys not eat like that?
And just the brutality of Samantha Morton's performance, as she's like really ragging these guys' faces.
The close-ups of faces and stuff. Like, how did you do that in camera? That's wild.
Yeah, it was just, definitely like the most horrific scene so far this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, when all that is done, it's still, oh yeah, by the way, there's another hour left, and it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
With it not very, like I said, I'd like to see it again, but it cruised.
Yeah.
It absolutely cruised. And every little set piece felt like its own movie, and they themselves were awesome.
And Nolan never lost sight of the personal journey as well. Like, and just that always remains the main focus is Odysseus trying to get back. What is it that's keeping him from getting back? And that, learning that it's not just about events conspiring against him. There's other things at play there. It's like, oh, okay, and that really makes it. It just keeps that personal through line
the other thing about like Robert Pattinson's character, just slowly but surely becoming more and more of a prick, where you're like, man, you're an ass. Like, I'm enjoying hating you. It's just a really, really surprising. Usually when I hear runtimes, I'm like, oh, you better make it important. And I probably could have done with another. I'm not saying that it needs to be, but another half an hour or so, I would have been all right at that pace that it was going.
Every time I looked at Robert Pattinson in this, I was like, how can this dude be Batman?
Right.
There's nothing about him in this that says Batman.
He's been a chameleon for about 10 years now, since Good Time.
Yeah.
Every time I see him in something, I'm like, I disrespected you. I'm sorry.
Just goes to show, guys, disrespect the content, not everyone involved in the making of the content.
Yeah, and Twilight was a thing in the past.
Scripted by someone else, directed by someone else. He showed up. He did his part. Move on.
Number 7 for us is a movie you have at 9, and I have at 4, and it is The Prestige. Where I'm kind of curious to hear why you have this so low. I don't know.
It does seem it seems ridiculous to have it down there, but again, it's the strength of the filmmaker. This is a 5-star film for me. Prestige is a 5-star film for me. Just one of the greatest movies about obsession. These two characters were so consumed by a mutual obsession for each other that everything else in their life just gets wiped out, just gets thrown to the floor. It's just the corrosive side of obsession is just really scrutinized in this film. It's brilliant. Brilliant performance from Hugh Jackman. Brilliant performance from Christian Bale. I don't know about anyone else, and I don't know if it's purposeful or whether you're meant to, and that's part of the trick that Nolan's pulling. But I always saw the twist with Christian Bale's character come in, where he's spoilers by the way, but come on, guys,
20 years, guys,
20 years,
get on it.
So the fact, if you don't want to hear spoilers, move on like 20 seconds. The fact that Christian Bale's character, he's two people,
right?
So he's twin brothers.
Yeah.
Like I saw that.
The theme was all over the movie, like right down to the birds and things. So
it's just something I'm always just interested in hearing other people's perspectives. Was that a surprise to you when you first noticed? Was that a twist? Or like, well, yeah, of course, that's Christian Bale playing two roles. I don't know if you can remember, but like,
no, I feel like the movie set that up pretty well. If anything, I thought it was something of a misdirect. Christian Bale's thing.
That's what I felt like. I felt like so all the way through. I'm looking at the brother, the Borden's brother, and I'm like I can literally see the body language. I can see the facial structure. I'm like, that's Christian Bale.
And plus the way he was shooting it. Purposefully. Like,
So the whole way through, I'm like, that's Christian Bale.
Right.
That's going to be the twist. That's Christian Bale right there. So then, like, that twist happened, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I saw that coming a mile off. But then the real twist is like, oh, Hugh Jackman's character is actually...
The movie opens with all those hats.
But the whole time you're expecting that to be explained in the way that a proper trick is explained, not for it to actually be what they're telling us it is. So it is this kind of rug pull of like, no, he is actually recreating himself, killing the... And it's just like, so that was... So the first time I watched Prestige, I was just... none of it... It didn't gel with me in that way. Like emotionally, it did all the way through. The obsession stuff, the one-upmanship did all the way through. And then when the twist thing happened right at the end, I was kind of blindsided where I didn't know how I felt about it. And then when I watched it second time, that's when it really hit. And I was like, of course, that's the point. That's the point. It's like he's told you what he's going to tell you, and then he's told you what he's told you he's going to tell you. But because you've not been listening, like you get upset because
it's also the bird trick where the little kid is like, where's the other bird, and he goes, oh smart. It's two different ways to do the trick where when they go back, there's a bunch of birds at the at the wherever the hell they're living or whatever.
Yeah.
But one way to do it is to kill the bird, and another way to do it is to have a duplicate.
Yeah.
And the movie kind of that's the way they Christian Bale has a duplicate, and Hugh Jackman just kills other Hugh Jackmans.
Does both. Yeah, he has both. He does both.
Yeah. The more I watch that movie, the more I'm like, I think I like this even more. Like I had a discussion with someone where they're like, there should have been more. I forgot what his character's name is.
David Bowie's.
No, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
What was his character's name?
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't.
So the person I was talking to was like, well, he should have done something about Hugh Jackman's wife drowning. And I'm like, that's why this movie doesn't work for you. And then I
hung up on.
Yeah, because he had an act. They show you them preparing for the trick with her in the water, and he has an axe ready, and he times whatever, and he goes, well, if they showed you him preparing with an axe, he should have been the first one to knock, her to knock her out when she was drowning, but in between those two scenes, there's a discussion there where he says, if I can see that you're not, then people in the front row can. So what the movie is telling you is that, Michael Caine's character shouldn't be able to see the knot. And part of that whole issue was what type of knot did you tie?
Yeah.
So they were all kind of arrogant about it too, or even the girlfriend who ended up dying was like, let's try it this way. And I don't, it was such an inconsequential moment of the movie where you're focusing on that.
That's just one of those things where people they really want to be the smartest person in the room, so they find things that they can tear it down with, so that they can go, I'm smarter than Nolan actually. It's like, okay, we'll go and write and direct something up. That caliber.
That was the problem with, I went and watched this movie. I watched that scene 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, I actually like this movie more now because of this thing that I'm looking at that really means nothing to me.
You're making something out of nothing.
Yeah. And it's picked up quite a bit. Every time I watch it, I'm like, man, I think I like this more.
It's a great film. I mean, everyone who knows me knows I'm biggest Nolan fan. So for me, every film from including the Prestige onwards on my list is 5 stars.
Yeah.
It's the most 5 stars I've given to any director, which is 9 5-star movies.
Thematically, it's something of a dry run for Inception too, which I'm
well, I feel like Inception is technically a remake of Following, but just on a mass budget. So I'll explain that in a bit.
Will you explain it now? You will not. Number 6 is Brian's number 3. It's my number 9. It's Batman Begins.
Yeah, it's a perfect origin story. Perfect superhero origin story. It's it's really the first time that the hero character became the focus of the origin story, rather than just a stepping stone to get to the main villain, who was going to be the big colourful life of the film. They kind of did it with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man just a few years before, but it was they were very quick to get him into the superpowers, and I just don't think it. I love Spider-Man, I think it's great, but it's not quite as deep. Doesn't quite get under the skin as on such a deep level as what we get with Bruce Wayne in this movie. Ultimately, it is about, Spider-Man ultimately ends up just being about a teenager at school who wants a girlfriend. It's those shallow level kind of teenage problems, whereas this is big themes about fear and vengeance, and are justice and vengeance, can they be the same thing? Can you bring them together? I was like, do they have to be separated? And what's required for true justice? And
I didn't realize what I needed from a Batman movie was to show me how he got to be so strong and shit. Like the first 20 minutes or so, and when he's trying to steal stuff, or what is it? The box that has nothing but stuff from his business. Like that was stuff that was the first time I've seen something like that in a superhero film, and I didn't realize I needed that sort of setup for Bruce Wayne and the Batman character. But man, I really appreciated it. I used to dig, the Bat Cave and all the fun gadgets and stuff, but seeing him get strong and how he's able to do the things that he does.
Seeing the reason for the Bat Cave,
sure.
Seeing the reason for those gadgets and things like just the thing where they ordered 10,000 units of the thing that makes the mask.
Right.
Just like thinking about, of course, if you're going to get away with making this stuff and not be tracked down, you would have to do it on an industrial level scale in order to hide you.
And having our protagonist, our hero, be someone where it's like, yeah, he's doing this and he's also got his own fears and stuff. Yeah. I can't recall any superhero movie where it was like they're doing this because of something within themselves as far as like fear is concerned. Yeah. I don't know if I just needed a movie to hold your hand and tell you, but I can't remember a movie prior to Batman Begins saying like, I'm going to be the thing that I feel. I forgot what the line was, where people are going to see what I fear or something like that. It was just a really neat line.
The criminal's going to fear share my dread.
Right.
Yeah. Just before he throws the barang. But
I dig that.
But I mean, I love what Nolan does with the villains throughout the Dark Knight trilogy as well. Is that it's not just let's pick a cool villain and we'll build a story. No, it's like he's picked the villains that work thematically with what he's discussing. So it's like you got fear in Begins, chaos in The Dark Knight, and then pain in The Dark Knight Rises. And he's picked the perfect villains to really dig into those themes. So like just, Scarecrow being an obvious one when you're dealing with fear,
you
but
can't
Ra's al
sell
Ghul
toys on Scarecrow.
No.
But what a brilliant.
But even Ra's al Ghul, a villain that like most non-Batman, if you're not deep in comic books and stuff.
Yep.
Ra's al Ghul, is
right.
that? Oh, yeah. Ra's al Ghul, as they changed him to it's supposed to be pronounced Raish, but whatever. I'll let you off, Nolan. But it's just, like Ra's al Ghul is, like the way he's used in the film, it's always about looking at that theme that runs throughout the entire movie of fear, coming in post 9/11 kind of dissection of where people are at that time. It's just like, he picked the right villains for it. They were there for a purpose. It wasn't just, hey, Green Goblin is the number one Spider-Man villain, so obviously we've got to have him in, it's like, Joker is Batman's number one film. So, actually, we're going to save him for when he's relevant. We're going to deal with these villains because they're actually relevant to the themes that I'm trying to discuss here. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I just... Genius.
Unpopular take, but I thought Katie Holmes was a better version of that character.
So do I.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So do I. Me and my friend Clayton, we agree. There's something about Maggie Gyllenhaal in The Dark Knight for some reason that's just a bit too... I don't know what the word is.
It's off.
Like,
she's a little
something off. It's
like... I might be smitten. I'll show my cards. I might be smitten for Katie Holmes, but I didn't have problems with her in that movie the way people do.
I never did until people like I wouldn't even be questioning her performance in that movie if people hadn't have been so like, Katie Holmes is such the weak link in the film. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah, I never thought that.
And I think if I see anything in her performance in that film that is like not great, I feel like I'm seeing it because I've been told to.
It's beaten into your head.
So now I'm always looking at her more than I should be because people have told me I should. And I do hate that fact. I hate the fact that whenever I see Batman Begins, I'm always looking at Katie Holmes more intently
I'm looking
than
for
I
different
should
reasons,
be.
but yes, I agree.
Whereas, if there hadn't been any discussion on that, it wouldn't even, it'd be a non...
Yeah, talking about things that are surface level that really probably don't need to be discussed. It's a callback to a different video. Sorry. Coming in at number 5, the group average is 5, but we both have it at 6.
Oh.
It's Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
The longest one. Is it? Wait. Is it still the one? No, it's Odyssey now.
I think
isn't it?
Odyssey's just over. It just gets longer with every film, hasn't it? It's just
People talking in a room for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did it, Chris. But,
shouldn't be interesting.
No.
And the thing is, as well, is like some of those rooms aren't even that interesting.
No.
Because like when talk about scaling down with a massive budget, is the whole thing when he's having the private hearings, the one where his wife turns up to. Kitty, is it? So she turns up to give testimony, and they're literally just in a room not much bigger than the one we're in now,
right,
with blank walls, just office furniture to sit on. It's the setup for most student films, yeah. And yet he achieves something that's highly cinematic and deeply emotionally resonant. So yeah.
This is giving me a reason to swing back to Odyssey for a split second, and I kind of hope that Christopher Nolan isn't getting in the habit of doing this. I could have done without the nudity in Oppenheimer, but artistically, I understand why he did the scenes that he did, especially with Oppenheimer nude in those room sequences. Growing up on horror and stuff, you think people just are nude because it's a slasher. You need to be nude, but artistically, the person's exposed, and it's a literal representation of them, and not having anything to hide behind. In the Odyssey, there was something close to a romantic scene, and I really hope that there isn't some sort of habit growing here, because in Oppenheimer, I didn't need the romance scenes, especially the nude ones.
Yeah, I just didn't need to see them having sex.
Right.
And like I'm okay to. I get that we have to see that these characters are going out at it behind, because it's an indiscretion. We need to see that this guy is flawed.
Yeah,
he's a genius, but he's cheating on his wife, so he's not a perfect human being. But there's ways you can shoot that without having to see. What's the actress's name now? I forgot her name. Florence. We don't need to see Florence Pugh's bare ass.
Right.
We don't need to see her breasts hanging out. There's a way you can shoot a sex scene where, okay, we know they're having sex. Now we cut to the next scene. They've had sex, so we know he's cheating on his wife. Great. Right. That's all the information we need. We don't need a lingering shot. I know some people will argue, I'll always have a lingering shot of Florence Pugh's ass. But for the sake of watching a movie, what you want to do in your private time, fair enough. I just want to go see a story that's character driven. I don't need to see.
Right. And that's the thing I quite appreciate from Christopher Nolan, where 11 of his movies, there's not like romance, nudity, there's anything like that. And it's not like there is in the Odyssey. There's just one little scene where I'm like, you didn't need to do that.
You get a film like The Dark Knight, there's a 12 over here, and it's like it pushes the envelope in terms of what you should be doing with a 12, where it's like, but it's great. It's like you go as dark as you can go, but you don't get to the point where you've tipped over into the 15 scale. And I just feel like Oppenheimer wouldn't be a 15 if not for those sex scenes.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there was some language in there. I can't quite remember the level. I don't remember it as being the film where it's F this, F that, or whatever. So for me, I feel like you take those nudity shots out, you take the sex scene out, or shoot it in a different way. That film's a 12. And it's just, yeah,
it's just something that it's not like I'm saying the movie's bad for it. It's just something that I don't think it adds anything to the film, because you can have nudity, like him topless. You don't see his Johnson or anything in that room sequence. You can give off so much information with that.
It's not an even. What's the word? It's not an even. It's not balanced. When you've got a guy sat there with his top off and a girl sat there with a top off, she's more exposed than he is.
Yep.
And it's not like, there's the trade. Look, they're both. No, that's not an even trade.
Right.
So it's just like, we didn't need to see Florence Pugh's bits in that film.
The bomb sequence at the end is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just wanted to talk about something positive.
The whole film's great. I mean, we spent so much time on a sex scene, but like in a 3 hour movie,
there's talking.
Yeah,
there's lots of talking.
You're talking like 30 seconds of stuff in ways otherwise a 3 hour movie in which everything else is great. Brilliant character development, excellent dialogue, just the story structure, the back and forth, back to the timeline stuff that Nolan's likes so much. It just works with, for what he's trying to tell us, what he's trying to show us. It's just, it's a phenomenal character journey, and you feel a whole spectrum of emotions for this man who created one of the most devastating weapons the most devastating weapon of human history, and yet you're still looking at him by the end of it as a human being who, and you feel for the guy, because it's like, if he hadn't made it, someone else would. And on one hand, we've got to be thankful that it was him who made it and not some Nazi scientist somewhere. And it's just like, okay, it's just, The atom bomb is an evil, but thankfully it was created by someone who understood that fact. That
now, if the person who created AI was only smarter. Number 4 for the group, which is number 5 for both of us, is Tenet.
Yeah, I'm surprised you have this high.
It's poor man's Inception, but
it's great.
It's really not. But
I mean,
the time travel and the it confuses me. I don't think I completely understand it, but I really kind of dig the effort and the the effort more than anything, and the execution is wild. Like there's things that I'm not even sure I understand, but there's still some big ideas in there, and still a big action movie. The highway sequence is incredible. So there's some heady stuff, and there's some regular old action movie stuff, and that's kind of what I love about Inception. It's a bit of everything, but we're talking about Tenet right now.
I'm just going to get a real full-size 747 and smash it into a building. So, who else has the power to say that and do it and pull it up? Yeah, I love Tenet. For me, I'm more emotionally connected to it than I am with Inception, and that's why for me Inception is one of those films where it's so clever in how it's written and that. And I wouldn't say I'm emotionally disengaged, but I would just say it's like, despite all its smarts, I would say that Tenet is on some levels less smart in its execution. Like I feel like if you look at it too much, if you just you spend all your time just trying to wrap your head around the mechanics of it,
right,
you will find holes and go, no, that's it, I'm done. But if you just feel it, if you feel what it wants you to feel, then I can get around any little minor imperfections and just go on the journey and go, actually, that does make me feel something that's like rewarding. It rewards repeat viewings. And just in terms of big Hollywood spectacle, doing something that we've not seen before, character interacting, a character going forward through time, interacting with the characters going backwards through time,
and like, fighting.
just say that to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, I'm going to leave that up to someone else to figure that out, because that's not in my capacity to figure that out.
I think that's part of the thing about it too. Is like when I'm seeing it, I'm trying to figure out, how do you describe this to someone? You can't, and it's like, thank you. I don't know how I feel, but thank you for doing something so bizarre.
Conceptually, it's brilliant. I think character-wise, it's brilliant. I love John David Washington in it. I think his character I really enjoy.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's phenomenal in it, even though he's in a tiny role. I think Kenneth Branagh makes a fantastic villain in it as well. Just this guy who's like, if I'm going down, I'm taking the whole world with me. Is it Elizabeth Debicki, I think, who's plays the woman? I
forgot.
I think so. I always get confused between her and the Invisible Woman from recent Fantastic Four.
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
not
no,
fantastic.
I think it's Elizabeth Debicki. It's Elizabeth Debicki. Kirby, somebody Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby is
Kirby.
Fantastic
Yeah,
Four.
Yeah. I think Elizabeth Debicki, I get like a real emotional connection to in the film. I think they do a good job of like just her plight. She's the victim in it all. She's the one who's kind of caught between everyone's machinations, and all she just wants to do is get out with a kid. So you understand like some of the places she goes to or feels she has to go to, extreme measures and things. But yeah, I love it. I just think it's an original piece of work that does things we've not seen before on the screen, big screen. And like, yeah, it's got a few little minor flaws in it due to the technicalities of trying to work out the machinery of it. Right. I'm like, get over it.
It's one of the ones where I'm up for rewatching it. There's something that I'm always paying attention to, and it's not something that I can watch and have someone else in the room talking during. So
no, they have to be out. Leave the room. If you're not engaging, get out. Please.
I'm going to start thinking, and smoke's going to come out of my head. Like that's something that I don't mind rewatching. I'm open for the idea. Yeah. It's just I need to. Every time I watch it, there's something else picking up on.
And there is a lot in there that it's saying as well that speaks to me on just a personal level, just in terms of like, the best way I'd equate it to is destiny is what you call the thing that is what you call the future that someone embraces despite the fact that it's out of their control. And fate is what somebody would call the future. Despite the fact that it's out of their control. They're the same thing, but it's about perspective. And you've got like Kenneth Branagh's character. He's the one who looks at things from a fate perspective, where it's all going to shit, and I can't do it about it. So I'm gonna punch the world for it. Whereas Robert Pattinson's character, it's like there's a dude who knows he's going to his death. He knows what his fate, or in this case, his destiny is, but he sees the bigger picture, and he knows that there's value in even if the writing's on the wall on that. Because of my perspective, I can go to it gladly because there's a bigger picture. It's not just about me,
right?
And so all that stuff really speaks to me in Tenet.
On to 3, which is your number 2 and my number 8. And it's Interstellar. I will reiterate, or I'll start my story why it's so low for me. This is just personal bias, it's some sort of spite or something that I have. It's 8 for me. Interstellar came out in 2014, which is the year my father died. And I remember I didn't expect this to be such a father-child heavy story, and I went into this movie not realizing what some of that subject matter was, and I wasn't ready for dramatic or emotional sequences like what happened in the movie, and it's just something that I kind of shut off to, and for a science fiction film, I'm okay with it. Yeah. The emotion stuff, I am not ready. I've rewatched it, and after rewatching it, I'm like, oh, I know why there's just like this cold spot for this movie that I just, it's an unfortunate thing. I mean, if I watched something else that had some sort of relationship like that, maybe I wouldn't feel the same way about this, but there's this funky stench on this movie that I forever associate with that I don't know, with a couple more viewings, I might be able to.
It is very interesting to see mine and your perspective on it, just because 2014, when this film came out, it's also the year that my daughter was born. It's just, I mean, like, you want to talk about subjectivity of film and how our life experiences shape the way we view things. That's a year of death for you. And for me, it's a year of life.
Right.
And it's like, my daughter was born in that year, and then I see this film about a father trying to get back home to his daughter and his son. And it's just like, and the feelings that arise in me when I watched that back then, just having the one, baby that has yet to say any words or have a full-on personality,
Right.
to watching it just a couple of weeks ago, where now my daughter's 12, my son's 7, I can hold conversations with them. Like, they mean more to me now. And I know that sounds weird to say, like, when they're babies, of course they mean everything to me. But as they get older and you've invested so much of your life into them, to lose them at that, this sounds horrible to say, but to lose them at that point is so much worse than if I'd have lost them as a baby.
I'm sure.
Just because, again, the more and more investment you've put in, the more they've grown, the more the person, and it's just, and seeing that, and that scene in Interstellar where he just loses all of that within the space of a video. Because he goes to a planet and he comes back up and boom, they've lost 14 years. It's like the idea that I could lose like a 14-year gap in my child's, like, it's just, and McConaughey's reaction to it, it's just like a punch in the nuts. And then the closing line with his daughter when she says, like, I knew you were coming back, and he says, how? And it's like, because my dad promised me. Like, I feel myself going now just on that. That just hits me because I'm a dad now. Like, and it's just, it is of all Nolan's films, it is the one that hits me emotionally more than any other. And from the sound of it, it is with you as well.
Yeah,
it's just that because it hits you in a way that you don't want to be facing.
Let me put a wet blanket on everything you're talking about. Keep in mind, he has 2 children in that movie, and it's all about his daughter. Casey Affleck, he's kind of not much communication between Casey Affleck and Matthew McConaughey. Once Matthew McConaughey's character is in space, it's all, there's this situation with him and the daughter, but I think the son's a foregone conclusion.
Well, from a character standpoint, and this is the way I always look at it and defend it, is that there's a reparation that needs to happen there between father and daughter, whereas there isn't between father and son. The son's kind of accepted it, and we see that because of the videos. He knows that because his son's still sending him videos. His daughter doesn't send him videos, and then when she does send him, it's to berate him and say what. So there's this between the father and son. There's no reparation that needs to happen.
But I'll give you my perspective from father and son. He's not concerned about his son, but at the same.
See, I think it's unfair to say he's not concerned about his son because we can't see what's in his head.
The focus of the movie is my daughter.
I get that,
And so, like that, again, bringing my baggage. It's like, this is telling me things that I don't want to think about because my father didn't die of natural causes. So, it just kind of, I realize I'm reading into things, absolutely, but it's like, why is he more, why is this more about him getting back to his daughter? He has a son too. And it's just, it's something that I don't know if I could ever pull away from, but it's just ironic that he has 2 children in that movie, but it's all about the daughter.
No, I do get
If I was a girl, it'd be a different story.
I get it. I just, again, as a father with 2 kids, and this could be a mistake on my part, I fully accept that. There are certain things that oftentimes I need to say to one that I don't need to say to the other because the one is looking for certain assurances, whereas the other one I can tell isn't. And to me, when I look at the film, it is just that thing that he knows the relationship with his daughter's been severed, whereas in those 14 years that he lost, the son was still sending videos. The son was still, I don't know where you are, but I'm still with you.
Right.
So it's in his head, it's not, like we can't see what's in his head, but to me, he loves them both. It's just that he's desperate to get to his daughter and say, I do. I love you. Like, And it may be false to say that my son doesn't need to hear that, but he knows she needs to hear it because she's all but washed her hands of him and told him that she feels abandoned. So for me, it's just that's why the focus kind of shifts to the daughter, because there is that specific.
What do you take of the son not leaving the house? What was that about? I'm trying to remember, because he wouldn't leave the house.
Well, he didn't want his kid, did he, to go because his kid has a cough,
right?
And he wanted to keep them in the house because he's clinging on.
Because he made
basically
a promise to his dad. I'm trying to remember.
I think it's because he's clinging on to a way of life that is just gone. He's representative of those people on Earth who can't see the writings on the wall.
Right.
The sister she knows that we can't stay here. It's done. It's over. We got to start looking to the stars. And he's showing that no, he's burying his head in the sand. We can carry on. And so that's why she burns his crops, because that's the one way to get him out of the house. Because as far as he's concerned, as long as we can plant these crappy crops on this planet, then this is the planet that we call home. And it's just like she hits him where it hurts, which is. Yeah.
Another movie that you could look at it from the global warming perspective, but I don't think that's the chief concern of this movie.
No.
Number 2, you had it at number 8. I had it at number 1. It is Inception. This is my favorite movie of all time.
And it's a 5-star movie for me as well. So.
No notes. I love that this movie is kind of heady. It's a thinker, and it's quite a brilliant action film. The elevator sequence, the hallway fight scene, the way everything kind of syncs up. There's people on YouTube who have like synced up the timing and all the different layers. I don't know. If that's shallow for like a heady movie, that's my kind of heady movie where it's still grounded enough where it can still be entertaining and not lose you in some of the in the minutia of the they go into dream worlds, and here's this metal suitcase that you just take the string and attach it to your wrist because that's how you fall asleep. Fine. Yeah. I don't need to know the tech behind it. All right, they fall asleep, and that's where things really go. That's how they're in the same dream. Fine, I'm fine with it. And the stories within that movie and the themes within that movie is fascinating. All of the different discussions. It's one of those movies that does the top spit? Does it stop spinning or not? It doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't think it matters. And like furthermore, that's not his token. The top is Maul's token. Yeah. The wedding ring is his token. Yeah. And if you watch that movie again, that's how you know he's dreaming is when he has the wedding ring on.
And going off that, is it even his dream? Or is it her dream?
Very good point.
Because like, is this what she hopes for? Because she's the one who's like, she's going to top herself because, whatever she's experiencing and whatnot. And maybe in her dream, it's that her family is happy without her, that they can survive without her.
That's a wild take. Have I never thought of that? That's awesome.
It's but that's again, that's why I love the film so much, because it's like there is no wrong take. There is no right. Did it wobble at the end? Yeah. Did it wobble at the end? No. It's like,
fine.
Who cares? It's like if you, it's the Blade Runner thing. Is it replicant or not?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It only matters to you. It's like whatever your answer is, that's the right answer.
Yeah.
It's like it's purposefully ambiguous.
Yeah, it's one of those things where does it change the quality of the movie? If it's one or the other, does it change the quality of the movie?
Not at all. It's just it's again, like I say, it's a 5-star film. The only reason it's not higher for me
because there's a bunch of Batman movies. You got
one, there's a bunch of Batman movies, and two, it's just I can forgive flaws in, like, I can have a movie that's more flawed, technically, but if it hits me on a deeper emotional, because that's what I go to the cinema for. I want to feel something.
Absolutely.
And like I feel mesmerized by Inception. I feel in awe of what Nolan's doing from an intellectual standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's great. But like, Interstellar makes me cry 4 times throughout it. And it's just like, I know I'm feeling something on a really deep level. Interstellar. So like, whatever flaws people want to dig up. Oh, but what about this? Dude, I cried 4 times. Like,
it's funny. I don't think I have a movie like that where I don't think Christopher Nolan has been someone to make me feel emotions like that.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But where was I going? Oh yeah, like for me, it's the wife stuff, the Marion Cotillard stuff. I think because most of what we see with her is when she's already in a fallen state.
Yeah,
she's like, it's all from Cobb's memories. So she's the wiring's starting to go really, and there's always something off about her. And I think, obviously, it's a long film anyway, so it's like to start adding stuff. Is it necessary? No, but like, I think just to get me more emotionally attached to her, so that her decline becomes more tragic for me in how I feel, like to see what they were like as a proper married couple before her.
But she's literally his projection of her, and she's kind of there to haunt him because he's got some guilt for what happened with her. So,
but that it gives me like a certain level of emotional disconnect.
Sure.
From her, which doesn't matter too much because everything else in the film is so grand, is so is so much spectacle, is so intelligently written and accomplished. It's like, okay, so I'm not quite as emotionally invested with that character as I'd like to be. Everything else is just so damn good. It's like, all right, okay, whatever. It's still a 5-star film for me.
Yeah, I don't know if the movie would want you to experience what's great about their I mean, they do minor moments. It's more he kind of he gaslit her into thinking something, and that's the important part. I'm all for it, but I don't think there's an argument here.
On the subject of Inception being essentially a high budget remake of Following, it's like both characters in those in both movies are called Cobb. And the whole ethos behind those characters is about implanting an idea in someone else's head.
Sure.
So, like, you look at Following, it's like the whole time his modus operandi, so to speak, is about getting our main character, to believe something as if it was his own. He thinks he's making choices all through that movie until it's revealed at the end that he never was. He was always a patsy. Cobb was putting ideas in his head and making him believe it. And essentially that's what Inception is. It's like, that's who Cobb is. That's what his job is. That's why he gets hired. And it's just like, you can see the seeds of Inception right there in Following.
It's wild that Inception is what we got because of our number 1 film, which is your number 1 film and my number 2 film. We wouldn't have Inception if we didn't have The Dark Knight. That was a trade-off from Chris Nolan, that he wouldn't do The Dark Knight unless he got Inception. Like, how do we get the two?
It was Dark Knight Rises, so he was already doing Dark Knight.
Is that
so off the success of The Dark Knight,
he wanted to do Inception, and then he did
Warner Brothers was like, we got to have a third Batman film.
Okay.
We got to have a third Batman film, and he's like, right, well, okay, I'll do Dark Knight Rises, but let me do Inception first. And they're like,
I knew it was
right.
It was one of those, ridiculous.
So,
but The Dark Knight, my favorite comic book movie ever.
Yeah. Same. My favorite movie ever. So,
you asked me on this list if I could rewatch any of these movies again for the first time. I'm going to say The Dark Knight, and I'm trying to think if I'm stuck in that, because Heath Ledger was dead already by the time the movie premiered, and there was already like buzz behind it, like he did really well, and I don't know if it was one of those posthumous things where it's just like, oh, this is his last big performance. Let's work around it, but that experience. I don't know what it was about that movie, that it was Heath Ledger's performance. The fact that it was kind of heat for the first 5 minutes. A lot of the sequence in the middle, the score, the soundtrack. I've never seen a truck flip, an 18-wheeler trip end over end like that. There's just things that happen in that movie where all of those things that happened in that movie, they happen for the first time. And I don't know, when you experience something awe-inspiring in a movie, you're like, that first time, you would really like to feel it again. And in that movie, more than anything that I can think of, on this list at least, there's so many moments in that movie where I'm like, I'm not the Batman fan you are, but I enjoyed Batman Begins. I didn't think of Christopher Nolan as anything really, noteworthy at that moment. But going through that, and at the end, it was just like, that was really kind of special.
Yeah.
And go on, talk about your number one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a core memory for me. Is the first time I went to see that. So I worked at a cinema at the time in Warrington, and there was going to be a staff screening of IMAX.
Nice.
Dark Knight in IMAX over in Manchester. Now the showing was going to be at midnight. I was on shift in Warrington till 11:45.
Whoa.
I drove a Nissan Micra at the time. And I clocked off at 11:45, and I was sat in my seat 3 minutes before the show. So I'm pretty sure I broke some laws getting from Warrington to Manchester in that time and getting seated. But because I was just so excited to watch that film, and it was 2 weeks before it came out, and it was on IMAX. Everyone was just super noisy, like these notes. I'm like, please, these better die down. But as soon as that Warner Bros. Logo came up, everyone shut up.
Nice.
And the only time there was noise was when there was meant to be noise, like the pencil trick and all that kind of stuff. Got the laughs and things. And it was just a phenomenal experience. Just the reaction from the audience, for like all across the board, was the exact reaction I was giving. So you got that communal sense that everyone sat here right now is feeling the same thing, is sharing in this experience. And I watched The Dark Knight 8 times at the cinema. So it's the most I've ever been to cinema to watch film. But yeah, I love it.
It was wild to see Heath Ledger's version of the Joker, because the last thing we had was Jack Nicholson, and it was special in its own way. But it felt like Heath Ledger's representation was unique. It was modern. I don't know, but it was just, this is chaos.
It was bad casting at first.
Well, the internet. The internet just was being the internet.
Yeah, the internet was being the internet, and there's countless like times when that's been proven. It's just like the dude from A Knight's Tale playing Joker. 10 Things I Hate About You. What?
Yeah.
And it's just, I knew from that first teaser trailer when I heard the laugh. So you got the teaser trailer was Michael Caine's voice. Some men just want to watch the world burn. And then you heard that laugh as the card came up. I knew right there that, all right, that sold me. I am fully bought in. And it's just, but
it was just a different version of what I'm not a comic kid. I'm a movie kid. Last thing I remember of Batman prior to Batman Begins was whatever the hell Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman, it's ice skating around in neon green, and to have this world be like grounded, and I'm using air quotes when I say grounded. Having the Two-Face character be like literally burned in half of his face, and it really looks gnarly.
He's not there as a character to be brought back in multiple sequels.
Right.
He's there to explore the theme with which Nolan is dealing with in this particular movie. He is the result of chaos, like going full tilt and then stepping back and letting the damage be done. And it's like, if Nolan got to make more, just loads of Batman movies, he ain't coming back. As not a character is coming back. He's there to make a point.
He can't.
No.
My favorite line in that movie is towards the end there. And it's a combination of the way it's all presented and the score all building.
Yeah.
And, Gordon says, don't punish me. Don't punish my son, punish me because I'm about to. And it's like,
Yeah.
Great line. I don't know. Of all the things that happen in that movie, that moment, like, really, really hits hard for me. It's like, no, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's great. It's just such a phenomenal movie. And it's like...
won the coin toss anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no notes.
No notes.
Yeah, I can't really argue too much with The Dark Knight. I mean, it's my number 2.
Yeah.
Second only to my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. But my top 2 movies of all time are in this list. So.
Is it Dark Knight and Interstellar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to really rewatch some of these. Maybe I won't rewatch Dunkirk and leave it be the way it is.
Let that be what it is. So.
So for the most part, our list is kind of close. Again, for those who were fast forwarding to the end for some reason.
Yeah.
Following at 13, Insomnia at 12, Memento at 11, Dunkirk at 10, Dark Knight Rises at 9, The Odyssey at 8, The Prestige at 7, Batman Begins at 6, Oppenheimer at 5, Tenet at 4, Interstellar at 3, Inception at 2, The Dark Knight at 1.
Boom.
Any closing thoughts, Brian?
Nolan's still the best director for me. Only director I've ever given 9 5-star ratings to. 9 5-star ratings. Yeah, in a career that only has 13 movies, that's an epic run. Call me a fanboy. I'm fine with that. It's whatever.
Nice.
But, yeah, something about the way he makes movies just speaks to me on both an intellectual level and an emotional kind of level. So
it's a nice round number too, 13. Yeah. So 13, we're going to talk for 3 hours next time about the Friday the 13th. No. Brian, thank you for doing this. I don't know who's hearing this, but there's a couple of things you'll listen to of Brian and I interacting. And please let us know what your thoughts are, what your rankings are. Where do you differ? Where do you agree? Brian, what do you got going on your side of the planet?
Not right, lot.
Replug the same thing.
Yeah,
just in case this comes out first.
No, just currently in the editing phase of a short film that I've made. So just want to get that done and then try and find an outlet to put it on. I'm sure it will end up on YouTube at some point, but I'm not rushing to put it on YouTube because I want to see what else I might be able to do with it before.
Nice. No rush. YouTubers are kind of in the news anyway. Well, first part. Feature length, not short.
Yeah.
All right. Brian, thank you for doing this. Guys, see you next time.